morning everybody, happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday already, this week seems to be flying. So today we're going to be applying everything that we've just learnt on time, and you're going to be able to make your own timetables today. So what is a timetable and how do we use a timetable? So I want you to just have a think of that question. What is a timetable and how do we use it? Have a think, and then I'm going to show you some examples. So here's an example of a timetable. Now, as you can see, this is for a bus service. So we can see on the left hand side are all the names of the bus stops, so where you can catch the bus from, and then on the other side it tells you all the times. So for example, if we look at the first one, Lincoln bus station, it says that the bus will arrive at this station at 10:15 or 10:15. It said it will also go at 11:15, 12:15, 2:15 in the afternoon and 3:15 in the afternoon. So we can see that if you wanted to catch the bus from Lincoln bus station, you would need to be at the bus station just before 1/4 the hour, because it always comes every hour at the 1/4, apart from 1:15 in the afternoon. So I want you to have a look at this, spend some time talking through it, and then I'm going to ask you some questions for you to have a go at doing. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to come up with your own questions. You could think of your own questions as well to really understand what a timetable is. And then obviously you've got some of my questions too, so have a go at answering. So looking at the bus timetable, what is the earliest time I could get the bus from Bransbury Horses at? So find Bransbury Horses, find the earliest time, what time would it be? Then have a look, what is the latest time I could get the bus from Lincoln bus station? So find Lincoln bus station, find out what is the latest time I could catch the bus at to get home. And finally, last question, if I arrived at Saxilby High Street at 12 o'clock at lunchtime, what bus could I take? So find Saxilby High Street, find if I was to arrive at 12 o'clock, which buses could I take? There might be one bus, there might be more than one bus. So have a go at trying to answer these using the grid, the timetable to help you, and then I'll go through the answers after, once you've got the answers, to see if you have got them all correct. So let's have a look if you've got the questions right. So what is the earliest time? So on the earliest time I could get from Bransbury Horses. So I'm going to find Bransbury Horses on my grid, which is here. There are actually two different Bransbury Horses, but I can look at either of them. I want to know what the earliest time is, so if I look at the earliest time, I can see it is 10:45 or 11:15 in the morning. Now my next question, I want the latest time to have a look at Lincoln bus station. Now, if you notice, there are two Lincoln bus stations, because this is when it repeats and goes round again. So you can either get one bus which goes at the times on the top section, or one bus that goes at the times on the bottom section. So this shows that there's two different buses. So I could catch, my latest bus I could catch could be 4:15 in the afternoon, or 16:15. And finally, if I have a look now at this one, if I arrive at Saxilby High Street at 12 o'clock, which buses could I have a look? So I'll have a look at Saxilby High Street here. So, and I've got Saxilby High Street up here as well. So if I arrived at 12 o'clock, I needed a bus that's after 12 o'clock. So I could have said I could have caught one bus which was at 12:30, or I could have caught a bus at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. However, obviously with 2, 3 and 4 o'clock, it would mean I would have to wait in the bus station until my bus came. So as you can see, I've thought of some questions there, and I've had a go at answering them myself. Now you could challenge yourself here and come up with your own questions. You could even think of the questions and ask your parents them or your siblings them, or you could answer the questions yourself. Now we've got another timetable here. Again, it is another bus. Obviously we can have bus timetables, train timetables. There's all sorts of different accessing a swimming pool. There's all sorts of different ways that we can use a timetable. So we're going to have a look at another one at this bus stop, at the bus stops that you can catch. So we've got bus stops in London. So if I was working in London, I want to know what time I will be able to catch the train at, the bus at, and what time I'll arrive at work at. So I'm going to show you some questions now, and then you can have a go at answering them. And then if you want to come up with your own questions, you can also do that too. So what time do you need to catch the bus from Tower Bridge? So find the Tower Bridge find out what time I can catch it at. What time do you need to catch the bus from Oxford Circus? Find Oxford Circus. What time would I need to catch it at? What time do you need to catch the bus from London Eye to from the London Eye? So have a go, look at these questions and we'll go through them together. So I can see if I was looking at Tower Bridge, so at what time do I need to catch the bus at Tower Bridge? I'm going to find Tower Bridge here on my bus stop. I know the earliest time I need to catch it is at 8:48 in the morning because there's a 0 before it, or that's 12 minutes to 9 in the morning. Then if I have a look at the next one, so what time do I need to catch the bus from Oxford Circus? So if I find Oxford Circus here, I then know that I need to catch the bus at 9:45 or 9:45 in the morning. And then finally, what time do I need to catch the bus if I'm going from the London Eye? I need to find the London Eye on my bus timetable, and I know that I need to catch it at 9:12 or 12 minutes past 9 in the morning. Okay, some other questions you might come up with thinking is how long does it take? So if you were on the bus, how long would it take to get from one destination to another destination? So have a look at these questions. How long does it take to get from the Tower of London to Tower Bridge? How long does it take to get from Tower Bridge to the London Eye? And how long does it take to get from St Paul's Cathedral to Piccadilly Circus? So see if you can have a work. Now for this one you might need to do your jumping method or counting up to find the difference, the duration of which you will be on the bus for. So let's have a look at the first one. Let's see if you've got it right. So how long does it take to get from the Tower of London, so which is this one here, to Tower Bridge, which is the one underneath? We can see that I got on the bus at 8:46 and I got off the bus at 8:48. So if I find the difference, the duration of the bus journey, it was 2 minutes. Let's have a look at the second one then. How long does it take to get from Tower Bridge this time? And I want to get to the London Eye. So let's find the London Eye. We can see that I got on the bus at 8:48 at Tower Bridge and I arrived at London Eye at 9:12. So if you count up, you can either count 12 minutes up to the hour and then 12 minutes on top. You'll find that I was on the bus for 24 minutes. So if you would have done your jumping method, or you could have just seen it and worked it out that way. Finally, this time I want to get from St Paul's Cathedral. So I'm going to find St Paul's Cathedral, which I got on the bus at 8:34 and I want to go all the way to Piccadilly Circus. So I'm going all the way on the bus all this time. So I will have found the difference. You could have done a jumping method to find the difference. You will have noticed I was on the bus for 77 minutes, which was the same as 1 hour and 17 minutes. So now we've had a look at bus times tables, we're going to have a look at a work timetable. So this is an example of something I've been sending out to your parents to show you how you could set up your daily schedule. So this is something I will also use at school to plan out when we teach specific subjects and how long those subjects last. So we can see on here, I've only put down Monday to Wednesday. However, on the seesaw activity, I've given you the example of the full week. So I can see on Monday, I can see at the down side, I've given the days, and across the top, I've given the times. Now I've given the times as both digital, and I've also drawn an analog clock as well, which could be something when we go into the activity, something you might want to do. Now, as you can see, I've actually wrote it in the 12 hours rather than 24 hours. So it's completely up to you when you decide to do this, which you decide to do. So then I can maybe ask you some questions on this. So I'm going to show you some questions now. So what time do you start maths on Tuesday? So you'll have to look for Tuesday and see what time I start maths at. How long does literacy last on Monday? So I have to again find the literacy on the Monday, look to see what time it starts and what time it ends. And how long is the school day? So from starting to finishing, how long is the school day? So I want you to have a go at doing that and then have a look to see if you've got the answers correct. So let's have a look then. So on Monday, so for the first question, what time do you start on Tuesday? So I found, first of all, I need to find Tuesday and I need to see what time I start. Well, once I've done, you could have either put 9 o'clock because you've done your morning exercise, or you could have said 9:30 in the morning obviously for the answer, because if we've started at 9 o'clock but the question says what time do you start maths, so we'll need to find out where the maths is. So find maths, and then you can see that it starts at 9:30 in the morning. For question 2, I want to know how long does literacy last on Monday. So I'm going to find Monday first of all. I'm going to then find literacy, and I'm going to have a look at the time. So it goes from 11 o'clock till 12 o'clock, so I would say it lasts an hour. And then finally, how long is the school day? So I want to see what time I start at. So I start at 9 o'clock. What time I finish at? Well, I finish at 3:30, because the activity at the end of the day is for you to have a go at doing it in your own time, not a set schedule. And if I find the difference between 9 AM and 3:30 PM, it is 6.5 hours difference. Okay, so your task is going to be to make your own home learning timetable that you can then use in upcoming weeks. So you could use, just as I've done, I've got the digital clock and I've got the analog clock. You could do one or the other, or to challenge yourself, you could do both. Then you can either use AM or PM, AM and PM for your digital clock, or you can choose to do a 24-hour clock. One thing that when I look at mine, I actually could have put AM and PM to make it clearer, because I've done it as 12-hour clock rather than 24 hours, but that is something you can include. You might want to include the days of the week down the side like I've done, and you might want to put pictures of objects. So as you can see, I've drawn a book in daily reading. You might want to put some other pictures in maths. You could do some adding and subtracting signs. Some science, you might draw a scientist, or you might, for art, you might draw something arty. So you can add some pictures on if you would like to do that as well. So please use this timetable to help you. That's why it's there. So I've put that on Seesaw for you to use that as an example, but you might want to change your times. Think about what you've been doing at home. Think about where you put different times and different timetable of the subjects, and you can decide that on your own then of how long you want to spend on a certain subject and when this subject will be, as well as putting in obviously the break times and the lunch times to give you some time to relax as well.